Welcome along, folks. You are with me, Rob Ellen, in the Medicine Show Radio Moose Mobile and broadcasting live from the Highlands of Scotland on iMTV, which is International Moose TV. Just to prove how international can be, we're off to Minnesota and we have got Charlie Roth.
Hello.
Oh, it's working. We've got Charlie in Minnesota. We're going to talk to Charlie about his latest, which is a single release for his Celtic band, which is the Ring of Kerry. Should we watch the video first, Charlie, and come back then when we know what we're talking about?
Sure, that'd be great.
Well, we can do that. So the video, you can tell us about who all produced it, and it's fabulous, Charlie. So I'm looking forward to playing this. This is the Ring of Kerry. And Turlough. What's Turlough's second name again?
O'Carlolan.
O'Carlolan.
Turlough O'Carlolan.
Turlough O'Carlolan. Coming back to Charlie Roth in just a minute.
My name is Turlough O'Carlolan and I ride the King's Road. With my horse and my harp I play as I go. I play my harp as I go. I play my harp as I go. Well, I lost my sight, but my life I did find. When I learned to play my harp at the school for the blind, all the jigs and the reels and the air so fine, I lost my sight but found my life. I wrote a tune for a lord in County Leitrim one day, when I played at the wedding of his daughter for pay. I packed up my harp and was on my way. I wrote another tune on the road to six lovely daughters and one son I sang, when I took as my bride Miss Mary Maguire. And I never stopped, and I shall live on every time
Fantastic. I mean, beautiful, Charlie. It's just a fabulous video, beautifully put together. I want to talk about who did the video for you. But first of all, you're in for everybody that's watching, and we have got a little audience. We are in the Medicine Show Radio Moose Mobile, talking to Charlie Roth, good friend of the Medicine Show for many years now, and Charlie is in Minnesota. Who Tell us about the band, Charlie, particularly that beautiful voice that you're harmonising with.
Well, that's Emma Nisler. She joined the band about 2 years ago, and I joined them in 2010. So it was about the time I met with you and started coming over to Scotland. So I was at that time, as Americana, folk, blues. I had not really. There was a couple things, I mean, it's all connected, this Ritz music, but I joined this band, and I learned how to play and got real interested in the Celtic music. Emma joined and replaced Kerry Oberg, who actually moved to Ireland, to County Clare.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the violinist who just joined right before the COVID hit. We lost all our gigs, Christina Seaborn, and it's a real fun band. We've been putting together a Christmas show now and we work with dancers. It's a great high energy kind of show band, and we just play theaters and as you know, I'm still doing my other thing, but it's really fun to be part of something like that.
It's nice to be back to work again. Anyway, that's for sure. And I've seen some of your stuff coming up on Facebook, of course, and you and Leon are doing something. We'll talk a bit more about Leon and the recent trip that you all had over here, the first Americans to appear in Europe since the lockdown. Talk about that, but more about the single Ring of Kerry. Tell us about Turlough. I mean, the song itself tells the story, but what's the tune that you've written a song to, Charlie?
Oh, Sabeg Samar, and it's in Gaelic, it means little hill, big hill, or something. I'm not really sure, but it's a tune that survived 100 years without being written down.
Right.
O'Carlolan wrote like 215 of the melodies that are in use today in Celtic music, and he was a blind Irish harper. And I learned Sabeg some more because the band wanted to learn it. So as a YouTube, I went and learned how to play it out of drop D, and I went, wow, that melody is so strong, and at one time, I guess it did have Gaelic, or I said Gaelic in Ireland, Gaelic.
It is Gaelic in Ireland, so we should.
So I got corrected, when I was coming from Scotland, I got corrected. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't know. I am just from Minnesota. I don't know anything about this stuff, but I do now. I know a lot more than I did then. And but the thing about Turlough O'Carlolan, I just went to the Wikipedia page, and it was easy because I already had a template. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of the challenge of coming up with a melody and stuff is and the lyrics that come together. It's miraculous when it does happen, but it's hard to do. When you have a template like of a song that survived 3 centuries, I mean, come on, you should be able to, I have written songs before with a tune in my head just to keep the meter and the temp. You have when the rhymes fall and all this, and then you forget about that melody, but it's fun to do it. It's kind of like writing a parody as well, But This song,
Very respectful parody if it's a parody.
it's respectful to the guy, yes. And in Ireland, of course, there's statues to him. And I just lucked out about County Leitrim. You know, it says there's Lord in County Leitrim. That's O'Carlolan was born not far from there, and he was lived. He sired 7 children in his 50s. A blind man. He was actually treated quite well. I mean, he did. He played for rich people, and they would put him up in their mansions, and he would write the song for the wedding, and then he would be off to do that. You know, he had a pretty good gig because the man was held in high regard, as all the traveling bards were. Him being one of the most famous, you know. So I kind of can relate to his life because I haven't had a day job. You know, this has been my job since I was in my early 20s. And I just do the gig and go off to the next one. And sometimes people will ask me to write a song, and that'll just be the catalyst for me to get busy. You know, I mean, otherwise I'm pretty lazy about it. But it's a lot of fun when you do have a song in your head and you go, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and you set your mind to it. And in this case, I had a lot of time because of the isolation that we all went through. For a lot of us professional musicians, it was a time to reevaluate what comes next for me now. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, touring and gigging and trying to be a folk singer, you know, and now I'm just sort of like more of a homebody, and I'm very focused on this thing, you know, what I do with Ring of Kerry. And I'm the guitar player for the band. I'm not the leader of the band. So I really liked it when they loved the song, not just liked the song. They just went, that's amazing. And I had Emma sing the lead vocal, and I sang the harmony. In my mind, that was because she could sing much better as in that key, and I could sing a little bit in my range if I sang harmony, and it worked out. It's kind of like the Everly Brothers idea, or you know, Gillian Welsh and Dave Rawlings or something.
Well, it's certainly got something special. I'm getting do you know where that's coming from? Is that your end?
You're getting what?
I'm getting an echo on the site. Oh, she's gone. It's okay. Well, thanks for joining us, wherever you are around the globe. Please do pop that in the chat window, and we'll introduce you to the company. You know this one, Charlie.
Hey, Ruth.
And so
up until now, we've been ruthless.
Well, there you are. There's a joke. So Ruth is in Calgary, of course, and Charlie's in Minnesota. We're talking about the Ring of Kerry and Turlough O'Carlolan. And well, you've been to Ireland a few times now, Charlie. I think more times than Scotland, actually.
No, I've been to Scotland now 9 times, and 6 tours I popped over.
Yeah.
Starting with the 3rd tour. So I've been to Ireland 6 times,
Okay.
where I kind of lost my driver, and Mick, who he lost his driver's license because he's had an epileptic thing going on.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
But yeah, we went from.
Surely, Charlie, you're not blind. You could drive yourself, couldn't you?
Yeah, you know, it's very dangerous to let me drive, Rob. You know this for a fact. I would have to say that
it's no excuse. I'll bring the moose over next time anyway. We'll just all go together. That'd be what
yes.
Yeah. So the still talking about the video, and we've talked about the inspiration behind it and the story, of course. The production on the video is fabulous, Charlie. Tell us a bit about the process of getting it onto video.
Well, I think you're going to play Broken Ground, which is that was the song, that the Americana song that was about my hometown area in western Minnesota. And the videographer, John Overby, and I grew up together out there and started playing guitar together when we were about 14 years old. And I said, John, would you, I have this song about our hometown, and you want to go out there and shoot some film and put together. He was looking for a project other than his normal documentary. John's a musician. He really wanted something creative to work on. But he made that video, and it got me over to Europe, as you know, and it got that
played all over Europe.
Yeah, we thought we had a hit record there for a while.
We were calling it a hit record just because
we were. Well, that's the thing about these things. And I asked, why aren't they playing Broken Ground anymore? I said, well, it's been 2 years. You got to give them something else. And I remember you told me that. I said, well, you got any Christmas songs? And then I said, well, I was started one, but I let it go to Steve Brooks. And then I called Steve and I said, listen, we got to finish that Christmas song.
Christmas.
I got to get it on the radio over there in Scotland. And that all came to pass. It was amazing because it was like in 1 week, we had that song to you before Thanksgiving, and it was on the radio that year, and it keeps getting airplay every year.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to play that. I'll play that as well after we play the Broken Ground.
A little early now, don't you think? Though,
not for me. I've been putting the Christmas CD together for a month now. I'm ready for Christmas already.
We're late, actually. Should have got on this stuff in August. I have another Christmas song, but there's too much on the plate right now.
There's another Christmas coming, Charlie, so I wouldn't worry too much about that this year. I think there's still some life left in Christmas at the Fallen Angel Lounge. Yeah. Okay, so a little bit about the video, Broken Ground. It was filmed around your parents' place, isn't it? Or was it your grandfather?
Well, where John and I are from, where my wife and I moved from there so I could go to St. Cloud State University in the early early 80s.
Yeah.
And it's a very flat area. It's like the plains, and
if you're dog leaves, you can see it going for 3 days.
Yeah. If you lose, you could watch your dog run away for 3 days. Yes. So it's like Lubbock, Texas. It's the same plain.
Yeah.
From that South Dakota all the way down to Texas.
The high plains.
And that kind of crept into my music. I think you can kind of plainly see. And it's as songwriters, I think your friend John Davey is the pain. He said something similar to that. He carries that in his song. My lyrics, but that's one of the things I do. And then this other thing is a Celtic thing. I was kind of a newer interest. So.
Cool. Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's remember the original meeting, and tell me the name of the director of the video again. Sorry, Charlie, lost it.
John Overby, and there's the band Ring of Kerry.
3, 4. There's a tiny town out in the broken ground where the young folks don't hang around too long. prices down. Used to be a railroad through there. It don't run no more to the tiny town out in the broken ground. Out in the broken ground. Well, there's a church out there in the tiny town where they laid my head in the water, in a big old house full of memories where they raised 6 sons and daughters, with a picture of an old man praying on the wall of that big old house in the tiny town out in the broken ground. Out in the broken ground. As I packed my bag to board the bus, it would take me off to war. And I waved goodbye and I watched my mama cry. My dad said, son, no matter where you roam, you'll carry part of your prairie home. And I took that to heart and I held my head up high. I walked this whole world round, swam on the sandy shores, lived in the largest towns. I seen the hell of war. Through it all, one thing never changed. I'll always be that boy from the tiny town out in the broken ground. Out in the broken ground.
Charlie Roth with Broken Ground, and radio hit, and the song that launched him in 3 countries that I'm aware of. Charlie, you've been to. I might just play that later. What is that? Why is that so
That's-
long? Because it's going here.
Can you get rid of that?
I did.
That song, started a lot of things for me. But as I was listening to that, I realized that was a demo that wasn't even recorded. The original recorded had Cara Luft singing, harmony, and it was
Yeah.
big production. It was a lot better audio, and the video. The cameras his cameras at that time were not even close to what he's got now.
No,
And you
they're
could
all-
tell it, like you could tell the difference between what 10 years makes,
Yeah.
And it was like 11 years, I guess. But
Yes.
that the song itself, I had a lot of mileage on it. It got me to Holland, and
That's right.
it could have gone to Australia, but I can't figure out how to get down there to see Eddie White. I was like,
Eddie, that's got to happen at some point. You're not going by yourself, though.
yeah, that'd be fun. We should just when we win the lottery, I guess, right?
There's got to be a moose. There's got to be a moose option in Australia. Actually, before the lockdown, there was somebody that was willing to put the banners up and take the moose around some of the festivals down there. So,
Yeah,
that's working.
doesn't hurt to dream. I would love to go down under and there was a guy, Charlie Parr, who from Minnesota years
I know
ago.
Charlie.
I asked him, "Hey man, how you getting over to Scotland and England?" He's mostly England and Australia. I said, "Man, just go over there. You'll find gigs." And
That's right.
he was right about that. And I was terrified of what could have happened. I mean, driving on you say the correct side of the road.
Yeah, that's the right.
They don't call it the right side of the road for a reason, Rob. And anyways, but I mean, as soon as I met David Connolly in England and you in Scotland, Mick in Ireland, and I got a friend John Binkin in Holland, and I could go there every year if I wanted to. And
here's one for you, beaming in from Crieff.
How you doing, Dave? Good to see you.
Dave's saying it sounds perfect as well, so that's good to know. Thanks for any feedback. If you're listening, thanks again. We've got Charlie Roth here from Minnesota. And drop us a note. Just tell us where you're from. We're going to play the video that we're promoting for you. We're going to try and get this on the radio, particularly in Ireland. I think the story. Yeah. I think the story is poignant anywhere. I mean, the blind musicians. There you go. There's blind. Most of the blues musicians. How are they going to earn a living if they've got an sight impediment? Give them a guitar, get out in the street and make some money. It's an old story, Charlie.
Yeah. Well, Carolyn went blind at the age of 18, and by 21, a rich lady who was employed his father took pity on him and got him a harp and and a tutor, and it's like learning at the school for the blind. That is, he also was 3 years in the school for the blind, so he learned some, and he went on the road. By age 21, he hit the road. He was on the road and found his deal. If it wasn't for him going blind, we wouldn't have all these melodies. It's just an amazing story. Well, I gotta go and do my gig here.
But not before. That was the next question. Not before you tell us how important this gig is, of course. That you've got.
Well, I gotta go sing at the grand opening of a grocery store. So like I said, they usually
Charlie, you're making it sound grander than it is. I mean, it is fun.
I mean, if you're a musician and you're turned down any gig, I'll take any gig.
You're not opening it. I'm sorry to butt in. You're not opening the actual store. You're opening the Christmas section in the store. Is that not right?
No, I'm not. I do play Christmas music around that time of the year in grocery stores, and I have been doing that for 21 years.
Oh, so this is an actual opening.
This is an actual grand opening of a store or reopening of the store. And so they wanted to make a big, so I'll be singing my own songs and
the celebrity life of Charlie Roth. It's a phenomenon. That should be repeated all the way around the world. And if I have anything to do with it. And
then Leon and I got a gig after that at the down in Sauk Rapids, where the town.
Well, I tell Leon I'm asking for him. Hey, you guys were amazing when you were playing over here.
He's a lot of fun. That's the one that we were over there together. We said, man, we got to figure out a way to get a gig, and so we got this residency. And this is the second one, the second Tuesday of the thing. So we'll.
Okay, Charlie, I'll let you go. Enjoy your gig, and tell Leon I'm asking for him, of course. And good luck with the single and with the video. We'll get it. We'll start getting it out to as many people as we possibly can. Thanks for doing this, Charlie.
Thank you, Rob. See you later.
Cheers.
Cheers.
my horse and my harp I play as I go. I play my harp as I go. I play my harp as I go. Well, I lost my sight, but my life I did find. When I learned to play my harp at the school for the blind, all the jigs and the reels and the air so fine. I wrote a tune for a lord in County Leitrim one day, when I played at the wedding of his daughter for pay. I packed up my heart and was on my way. Six lovely daughters and one son I sang, when I took as my bride Miss Mary Maguire. And I never stopped, and I shall live time someone plays this song, and I never stopped, and I shall live on. Every time someone plays this song. Turlough O'Carlolan, and I ride the King's Road.
Very sweet. That is Ring of Kerry, a song written to a Turlough O'Carlolan tune by Charlie Roth and available from Charlie's website. And just drop Charlie a line; he'll sort that out for you if you would like a copy of that. I think it's on Bandcamp. It certainly is on all digital platforms. And thanks to Charlie for dropping in to do that. Thank you for viewing. I'm going to try and keep this going for the foreseeable future. There was an extraordinary thing happened last night. Just shows you the power of switching on a microphone and broadcasting. I got a phone call straight after on Messenger from Steve Howard, who I've chatted with over the years. Really, Steve, and we were talking about Cousty, the band Cousty, over the years as well. He was trying to organise a tour in America for Cousty when the Bob Harris 5 was going on for them, and never came to any fruition. But he got excited about the band and has played with everyone. Say everyone if you include Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and the Outlaws, as well as the Radiators from down in New Orleans. He's from St. Louis himself. And he just called out of the blue saying that he saw last night's broadcast with Colin Cutler. He really enjoyed it. And there we were for about an hour and a half talking about music and cracking on and some of the things that he had done in music. He, at a very early age, ended up in the West Coast California scene and got to know and play with a lot of those guys as well. So we are talking about coming on here live and hopefully tomorrow, and just having a chat about all things roots of American music. He lives in St. Louis now, St. Louis, should I say, and which is in the heartland, the gateway to the west, of course, and not far from Memphis, not far from Nashville, not that far from Texas, Austin, certainly not so far, it's a big country, from New Orleans as well. So he's going to come on, we'll play some of his music. He wrote for Eddie Money. That was rumbling around there before it came out. Eddie Money wrote songs for Eddie Money, and I wrote a lot of other songs. So hopefully we'll have some of his songs and just sit here and have a chat about the very roots of American music like we did last night. So I'm particularly looking forward to that. If you have got a project yourself that you would like some extra publicity for, please do get in touch. iMTV is in support of independent musicians, venues, and festivals as we climb out of the rubble of lockdown. So anything we can do, let us know. I'll put this little graphic up here as well. And eventually scrolling through to find it. Maybe I can't find it. Oh, it's a caption, it's not a graphic. So it's medicinemusic.co.uk. You can find us on that in the chat area. We are doing this now. There is a link through to the speed donation for iMTV, and it is all publicly funded. It is you guys that keep the wheels on the Medicine Show, and not just me, but all the people that we try to help are grateful for your contributions to the harmony, and please do take that with our gratitude as well. If you can, click through and donate. It is right now in the chat frame, so you can click through there and donate on PayPal. Again, thanks guys. We'll be back hopefully same time, same place, same click of the mouse. Please do join us here tomorrow, 7 p.m. GMT, 1 p.m. Central, with Charlie Roth today again. Thanks again, guys. We're out of here.